The Gospel of Bitcoin, Faith, Ideology, and the Quest for Financial Freedom. Quote, "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth where moths and vermin destroy and where thieves break in and steal, but store up for yourselves treasures in heaven where neither moth nor rust destroys and where thieves do not break in or steal." Matthew 6:19-20. Introduction. Bitcoin is often seen as more than just a digital asset. It's perceived by many as a path to economic salvation and a means of achieving financial freedom. This perspective has elevated Bitcoin beyond the realm of finance, positioning it as a cultural and ideological phenomenon with qualities that mirror aspects of religious belief systems. The comparison between Bitcoin's decentralized ethos and historical events like the Protestant Reformation sheds light on the broader narrative, a challenge to centralized power structures in pursuit of a new form of value. This exposition will explore how Bitcoin's narrative aligns with themes of faith, ideology, and transparency, and how it contrasts with the centralized financial systems it seeks to disrupt. Section 1. The emergence of Bitcoin as a belief system. Bitcoin's rise has been characterized by more than market speculation. It has inspired a community that often displays the conviction of a religious movement. Bitcoin enthusiasts, or Bitcoiners, hold a belief in the power of decentralization, the importance of self-sovereignty, and the potential of Bitcoin to reshape the global financial order. This conviction is not just about economic gain. It is about adherence to a vision of a future where financial power is in the hands of the people, free from the control of centralized banks and governments. The idea of Bitcoin as a form of economic salvation resonates with the biblical warning to store up for yourselves treasures in heaven. While the original message speaks to the impermanence of earthly wealth, Bitcoiners interpret the digital asset as a store of value immune to the ravages of inflation and the failures of traditional banking systems. To them, Bitcoin represents a new, incorruptible form of wealth, one that, like the treasures in heaven, remains untouchable by the forces that erode conventional currencies. Section 2. The centralized banks and the Catholic Church analogy. Centralized institutions, whether financial or religious, have historically accumulated power, and with it, the potential for corruption. The Catholic Church during the era of the Holy Roman Empire held tremendous sway over spiritual life, shaping the beliefs and behaviors of its followers. Similarly, modern banks act as gatekeepers in the financial system, controlling access to money, credit, and economic opportunity. The analogy between the Catholic Church and the banking system lies in their centralized authority. Both have served as arbiters, one of spiritual salvation, the other of economic stability. Just as the Catholic Church faced criticism for practices like the sale of indulgences, banks have faced scrutiny for their role in economic crises and their reliance on opaque practices. The accumulation of wealth and power in both systems has led to calls for reform and alternatives. Section 3. The Protestant Reformation and the Rise of Bitcoin. The Protestant Reformation emerged as a challenge to the Catholic Church's dominance, advocating for direct access to spiritual truth and decentralizing religious authority. Similarly, Bitcoin challenges the centralized power of banks by offering a system where transactions occur without intermediaries, verified through cryptographic proof rather than institutional trust. Bitcoin's core principles, trustlessness, transparency, and verifiable transactions, align with the values that fueled the Reformation. Just as the Reformation sought to democratize access to religious texts, Bitcoin aims to democratize access to a financial system that doesn't require trust in a central authority. The blockchain, like the printing press of the Reformation era, provides a means for individuals to engage with this new system directly, without the need for a central intermediary. This ideological alignment positions Bitcoin as a modern reformation of finance, questioning the practices of the established financial order and proposing a vision where financial sovereignty is restored to the individual. This content is brought to you by Bobby Giggs. Promote your brand here and reach a wide audience across platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Follow the links in the description to get started. Section 4. The role of Satoshi Nakamoto and the idea of a second coming. The mystery surrounding Satoshi Nakamoto, Bitcoin's creator, adds a mythical dimension to Bitcoin's story. Satoshi's identity remains unknown, yet their writings and early involvement in the Bitcoin project form the foundation upon which the community builds its beliefs and practices. Satoshi's departure from the project in 2011 has left their role akin to that of a prophet, whose work is to be interpreted and maintained by followers. The idea of a second coming in the Bitcoin narrative revolves around the possibility of Satoshi returning or revealing themselves. Given the likelihood that Satoshi may be deceased, this remains unlikely. However, the possibility that someone could gain control of Satoshi's private keys, effectively impersonating Satoshi, raises questions about how the community would respond. Would the revival of Satoshi's presence be seen as a return of the original vision, or would it be viewed as a potential threat to the decentralized ethos of Bitcoin? Control over Satoshi's private keys represents control over a significant narrative in the Bitcoin community. It could influence decisions, validate claims, and potentially shift the course of Bitcoin's future. This underscores the importance of narrative and legitimacy within decentralized communities. Section 5. Contemporary Disciples and Dissenters. While Satoshi remains an enigmatic figure, several prominent advocates have taken up the mantle of spreading Bitcoin's message. Figures like Michael Saylor, CEO of MicroStrategy, have become evangelists, framing Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation and a superior store of value. Others, like Andreas Antonopoulos, have focused on educating the public about Bitcoin's technological aspects, aiming to bridge the gap between complex concepts and everyday users. On the other side, dissenters and controversial figures like Roger Ver, Bitcoin Jesus, and Craig Wright, not Satoshi, have challenged the core Bitcoin community's beliefs, often advocating for alternative visions of what Bitcoin should be. These figures add to the drama of Bitcoin's narrative, much like heretics in a religious context, forcing the community to define and defend its core principles. The faithful, those who adhere to Bitcoin's original ethos, play a crucial role in maintaining the protocol's integrity, ensuring that the decentralized vision remains intact amidst the noise of competing ideas. Section 6. Bitcoin as a cultural and ideological phenomenon. Beyond the religious analogies, Bitcoin has become a cultural force, shaping conversations about economics, technology, and the future of money. Memes, narratives, and slogans like "HODL" and "Bitcoin fixes this" have become part of the community's identity, helping to spread the message in a way that resonates with new audiences. Murad Mahmudov's concept of the meme coin supercycle highlights how digital assets can become cultural icons, embodying more than just their market value. He suggests that the next wave of meme coins will be mission-driven, with strong narratives that connect with people on an ideological level. Bitcoin's journey fits into this vision, as it has already established itself as a symbol of resistance to financial centralization. While the religious analogy helps frame Bitcoin's cultural significance, its impact is broader. Bitcoin's rise is about more than faith or ideology. It represents a shift in how society perceives value, trust, and the nature of money itself. Conclusion. Bitcoin's story mirrors the dynamics of religious movements, from its devoted community to its challenge against established powers. The analogy to the Catholic Church and the Protestant Reformation provides a useful lens through which to understand Bitcoin's decentralized ethos, but it's important to recognize the limits of this comparison. Bitcoin is not just a belief system, it is also a technological and economic innovation that has the potential to reshape how we think about finance. The question of whether Satoshi Nakamoto will ever return, whether as an individual or through control of the private keys, remains an open one. Yet, the enduring mystery adds to Bitcoin's allure, keeping the community engaged with the narrative. As Bitcoin continues to grow, it challenges us to reconsider where we place our trust and how we define value in an increasingly digital world.